Podcast, as I'm also getting more updates that are in fact very critical pertaining to the law and order in the state of Manipur. In a pivotal development, the Committee on the Tribal Unity has temporarily lifted the indefinite economic blockade on the National Highway NH2 and the 24-hour total shutdown in the Sadar Hills, Kangpokpi. This decision has been followed after the understanding with the authorities regarding the deployment of the 112 CRPF battalion to the Saibol region of the Lhungtin Sub-Division in Kangpokpi district. While this marks a pause in the weeks of unrest, tensions remain high as COTU has issued a stern warning of further escalations in the state. The committee has demanded the withdrawal of the remaining Central Armed Police Forces unit from the Kuki-Zo community areas within 48 hours. Failure to meet this deadline, they have cautioned and dared that they would result in more stringent forms of agitation going further. The agitation stems from the Kuki-Zo communities' demands for the stronger protections for their rights and their territory. The recent blockade and the shutdown were intensified following an incident on January 3rd, where the use of alleged excessive force by the security personnel left over 15 protesters injured. Though the COTU acknowledged the authorities' efforts to deploy CRPF forces in the Kuki-Zo dominated areas, they emphasized that this was only a partial resolution. The committee and the broader Kuki-Zo community remain resolute in their call for the comprehensive action to address the grievances. This latest move is part of a broader wave of protest that could reignite if the authorities fail to meet the community's demand. Observers have warned the situation in Manipur remains fragile, with the potential for the renewed agitation looming large. Nibir, in fact, with that, the unrest and the spotlight on the unrest continues as the COTU has issued a stern warning and the committee has demanded the withdrawal given the deadline. What is the possible ramification of this being put up ahead of the authorities? And, Manipur cannot be ignored with the continuing increasing tensions day by day. And when scenes have emerged with even the police forces and police head also being attacked, it remains to be even more crucial how the authorities are taking the ethnic issues of violence in hand.
Is a temporary suspension of the economic blockade along the national highway, which the COTU, Committee of Tribal Affairs Unity, has been imposing. This is a highway is a very crucial because it is one of the main lifelines of Manipur, which has been blocked in the last 48 hours or so. The demand by the COTU, which is civil society organizations from the Sadar Hills, predominantly based in the Kangpokpi district, has been to remove the CRPF forces stationed in the district. And that has led to the escalation. We all know how the protests led to the violent scuffle between the security forces, which led to the injury of the Kangpokpi district superintendent of police. Further, now we have seen that the economic blockade has been removed, but the COTU has been claiming that this is a temporary suspension of the economic blockade because of an understanding of the 112 CRPF battalion being stationed there. But they are also now stating that they want the other CRPF forces to be removed from the region. And if those CRPF forces are not removed, they might again restore the economic blockade. As of now, the economic blockade has been removed from the area due to the understanding of the CRPF presence, but they want the other stationed CRPF armed units to be removed. This demand has been increasing in that particular area ever since the Assam Rifles were removed from the area, and the Kuki community has been making allegations that the CRPF forces have been biased towards them, which led to the protests. And we all know how the protest turned out. It became violent with several men and women injured, and as well as the SP of the very district injured. Now the course of action will be very interesting because they have done the removal of the economic blockade, but they again claim that this is a temporary suspension and things might escalate further if their demands are not met. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the security and the combing operations have begun in that very particular area. The search operations are also going on. Extensive security measures have been deployed, but the next course of action in the next few days will be very crucial as far as the law and order situation is concerned in Manipur. Back to you.
All right, Nibir. Thank you for adding these details, and we'll